screen.
Cool. Thanks, Darren. Morning, everybody. It's Monday morning. It's not wet at the moment. Yes, this is the shareholder meeting for Dorset Centre of Excellence. The agenda will start now, so apologies, we're all here, so there aren't any. Item 2, minutes of the last meeting. Any matters of accuracy to change? Nope, don't see anybody, so I'll sign those later. Declarations of interest. Nope. Item 4, public participation. We've had no questions. Item 5, questions from councillors. No questions. Item 6, forward plan. It's in the agenda pack. There's nothing unexpected there. Welcome, Jane. So item 7, Dorset Council Commissioners Report. So it's Ross.
Thanks, Chair. Relatively straightforward and short report today. The key area which we'll come on to was the Ofsted inspection, which happened at school at the end of June, start of July. The final report has been published now, and has been published now. It wasn't published. It wasn't available at the time of the papers, but I'm sure the colleagues from the school will talk more about that in their report. But it's the reflection of the good outcome from the inspection is the sort of thread that runs through our commissioning observations at the moment and our internal quality assurance and visits to Deco and to Coombe House School. There's notable areas in our recent contract reviews around reading and phonics delivery and the associated teacher CPD. And particularly pleasing is the multi-term improving trend in attendance and reduction in unauthorised absence. We had a conversation in the last committee meeting, shareholders meeting, around the performance indicators, and we're going to work, we've agreed with the school that we will work with them to develop the reporting for this committee going forward.
Okay. Any questions? Also, it's quite a brief report, but I think we should congratulate the school on your good. I'm sure you're going to say something about it soon.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as usual, there's quite a lot of overlap between the two reports. So I'm not quite sure which to pick out from one report, to pick out from the second one. But no, really huge congratulations on it in the Ofsted. That's really, really wonderful news. In this paper on 4.4, it notes that attendance is improving and that unauthorised absence is decreasing, which is obviously excellent news. Is that trajectory sort of ongoing, or is that just we're kind of in a fortunate phase? And what are you doing to keep that continuing, really?
Yeah, it has been a very steady upward trajectory. It's always quite difficult to pick apart our attendance story because as a very rapidly growing school, when new pupils come in and take a little bit of while to settle in and engage with their transition plans, that sort of does skew the data a little bit. So it's sometimes quite hard to pick out the stories. But what I'm really confident about is the meticulous analysis that we've got in place of the attendance story of each and every pupil who attends. And so we're able to say with confidence that overall the trajectory is good, but also in individual case studies, which can be hugely impactful for that individual and their family and their community. We've got some amazing stories of children who've really struggled for very many years, often in multiple previous settings, who are thriving with us and attending extremely well. So we're confident that is robust and continue to develop.
It may help, sorry, if I can just come in from the Ofsted report, I might as well give some of the extracts from it, where it says attendance is a high priority for the school. The school meticulously analyses the attendance of each pupil to find out what support it can offer pupils and their families to build positive attendance habits. This has had a demonstrable impact on individual cases.
Councillor Somper.
Morning, thanks very much. Well done on a positive Ofsted report. I just wanted to ask a question around the business plan implementation and work underway to ensure the next phases required development and their planned growth. And just to refer to a recent cabinet meeting where the financial status was discussed, and there was a point in there about reprofiling, which included 2 phases for the Dorset Centre of Excellence, phase 5 and phase 3 being reprofiled. And I'd like to get thoughts from people from Coombe House on this point and how they see that progressing.
Okay, Grace, before anybody else, Grace wants to say something?
No, I was just going to say, I think that comes up on the next paper, possibly, to with an update from the chair and MD of the company.
Jane, you're happy to leave that question to be answered to the next paper?
You
want to answer now? Do you want to answer?
Yeah, it's agenda item 8.
Yeah, so we're not on that yet. We're on 7 at the moment. So.
Right. No, I'm happy to wait for that.
Okay, I'll come back to you in a second.
Thanks.
Any other questions? I do have one. So the capacity is 131 now with a maximum 152. Is there a plan to fill that?
So that was the position at the end of the summer term, that we are moving towards full capacity. So I think it's around the 140 mark now. There are regular engagements between the council and the school to bring us up to capacity as quickly as possible, make sure those are appropriate placements in the best place for the children to be.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, Chris, thank you. But it's just for noting, so we don't need to have a vote or something. So item 8 and the chair's report.
Well, as with Ross's report, I think this is fairly short for a shareholders meeting. It is the start of a new year for the school, the start of a new term, a new academic year, that is, rather than for the school. I mean, I will highlight just the summary of the Ofsted report. It not only does it say that overall, from the inspection, the overall effectiveness is good, but importantly on personal development, it says that is outstanding and worthy of sharing with others. And for a school that's been in existence of around 3 years, that's a very good achievement. And we're very pleased that we've managed to achieve that in such a short period of time. I'm going to leave Andy to pick up on most of the other areas of the report. In terms of the business planning, we are still continuing to work and discuss with the council officers regarding the business planning, and clearly any rephasing we will pick up in those business planning discussions. Andy.
Yeah, sure. So other elements of the report, but it's fairly business as usual. Just to highlight some of the real successes from the summer, we had an open day for our families, which was incredibly well attended. It was an evening event with a chance for families to see work and celebrate successes and have some food with us. And it was a really positive atmosphere, and we're really starting to build on that community element of our school. Obviously, since the last time we met, we've had some exam results, which were a real step up from us compared to a year ago when we were first registered as a centre and started to do our first few qualifications, largely functional skills and GCSEs. We have had a real step up in the last year in that regard. We've had young people lead with very, very pleasing grades, which when analysed by anybody would be a success. But also some individual stories of children who've earned grades at different levels, which for them is a massive achievement. So we are putting together some analysis on that. In the next meeting, we're expecting to present our performance report, and within that, we'll really go into the granular details so that you understand the difference of those outcomes, because they are really, really pleasing to us. So we're looking forward to sharing that with you. It's been a really busy time with quality assurance because, as Ian has shared already, we had our Ofsted inspection, and the report is published within the last week for that. But we also had an annual safeguard and quality assurance visit from Wiltshire Council, because we slipped just inside Wiltshire, and so they have some jurisdiction to do some quality assurance work over what we do. So that was very, very thorough, involved 2 colleagues visiting site and physically checking an awful lot of what we do, and came back with very, very positive feedback. The timing of that allowed them to feed into the Ofsted process as well, so that was helpful. We've also had Dorset Council's own annual quality assurance visit, which they kindly postponed because that was due to be the same week as Ofsted. They kindly postponed it, so that was a little after. But again, very positive feedback regarding that, indeed. So the last sort of big headline, I guess, is the Ofsted report. It's now in the public domain after its various quality assurance processes that they need to do between when they visited and now. It went onto the Ofsted website last week, so it's there for all to see. But we were incredibly pleased with the progress that we've made that was recognised by Ofsted compared to our last report. A good overall judgment, which is still being given in the independent sector. That shift hasn't happened for us yet. And as Ian said, personal development was judged as outstanding. I'm certainly not going to sort of read it because it's there for everyone to review at their leisure, but I was going to highlight just a few sentences from it so that people can get a flavour of what's said within it. So it starts with Coombe House School is a vibrant place to learn. Pupils arrive each morning with enthusiasm. The atmosphere in classrooms and around corridors is calm and positive. Pupils are happy, safe and behave well. They trust staff to support and guide them. And then there's various sections throughout which are equally as strong. But one of the most pleasing sentences is around personal development, where it says, the school's personal development offer is exceptional and worthy of being shared. It is highly effective and supports pupils to experience repeated success. Pupils develop resilience and are inspired to be aspirational about their future lives. So there's several pages, and I'm not going to read more than that, but it gives a flavour for everybody about what Ofsted found when they visited us. There's other elements in the report about non-school elements. I don't mind taking a pause there if anyone's got any comments or questions about the school and the quality assurance processes we've been through.
So I did have a question, but you've already answered it. I wondered why Wiltshire and Dorset were doing QA, but particularly sit in Wiltshire offices. Geography, yeah. Do you want to go back to Councillor Somper's question? Do you want to answer that now about reprofiling?
The discussions are continuing with council officers regarding that, and that will lead to the business plan being produced and brought to committee at the suitable time. But discussions are still continuing.
Councillor Somper, I guess you've probably got more questions.
Well, you'll know, Chairman, that I asked questions about this at Cabinet, just for sort of clarity, really. And it does state in your agenda item that the implementation of your business plan is approved. So, and it's very specific in the Cabinet papers about which phases these are. I think it's phase 3 and 5. And so I mean, you're having discussions about them and about that reprofiling, which wasn't really that clear. I know Sean's on the line, and there were lots of other elements going on in Cabinet. So to be able to hone in on it in this way is quite helpful. I suppose a concern would be around any delays that this might create for the school. If these phases, and I don't know what phase 3 and phase 5 are, you know, what does that actually mean for the school by having this, just these discussions going on with these particular phases, and any other phases that are in your plan that aren't referred to in this report or weren't in the Cabinet report. Like, Sean's got his camera on.
Do you want to briefly explain what phases 3 and 5 are for the benefit of everybody, including me?
I'm happy to do that. So phase 3 is the phase of development for the site that will allow the school to grow from its current capacity of 152 up to sort of 200 plus, maybe up to sort of 240-ish. And it outlines all of the additional classroom spaces, outdoor areas, dining room spaces, specialist classroom spaces that will allow us to get there whilst maintaining the quality we've got. And the discussions we have been having around phase 3 is just making sure we do that in the most cost-effective way that offers the best value for money for the council and Dorset as a community. Phase 5, it was a proposal and is a proposal around how some of the residential accommodation on the site could be used for residential social care, either for long-term placements and homes for children who are looked after, or residential short break provision for children and families who would benefit from that. So that's what the 2 phases are.
Can I? Oh, sorry. I thought you'd finished. Those are really fundamental. They're really fundamental. I mean, particularly phase 3. And what I don't understand, I mean, this is internal stuff going on, but is there a problem? Who deals with the actual procurement of all those? Well, it's the works that presumably are under discussion. Does Coombe House itself deal with the procurement of those services, or is it Dorset Council who deals with that? And is there a meeting of minds?
Do you want to answer that? Can you?
I'm happy to, yeah. So I guess the element that I'd start with really is to say that we had known that the pace of the building works that we would need to meet the business plan as written was going to be different, and therefore we've been planning to manage what will be a plateau in growth compared to what we expected a couple of years ago. And so we've really put a lot of effort into making sure that we'll be financially and commercially stable, and that we'll have the right leadership structure to ensure the quality and the preparation for growth can carry on whilst we wait. And there's a massive commitment on all sides, I think, to make sure that the trajectory continues, and we are engaging in the planning process to make sure that that can happen at the best possible value.
Can I just come in on procurement as well? All procurement up till now has been through the local authority, which has managed the procurement. We have had discussions at a board level about what would happen if we were to suggest that we took responsibility for procurement, and some costings have been done to see what we might be able to save if we were to undertake that procurement. But those are matters that are still with discussion with the local authority.
Or Mr. Dempsey.
That's very interesting.
Paul Dempsey is going to respond, I think.
Hello, Paul Dempsey, Executive Director of Children's Services. I think there's a specific point in the budget paper on Tuesday about reprofiling referred to capital spend, and in relation to operations, I can only just say as Director of Children's Services what Ian said really, that we are in continued discussions about the next phase is achieving best value for the council, and making sure that we do achieve best value, and anything we do also meets the individual needs of all the children on the site. So discussions continue. As a financially sound council, we want to achieve best value, and that's what we're trying to do.
So ongoing discussions about who has control of that process, presumably. Sorry, I don't. Please tell me if I'm saying things or asking questions perhaps are best placed elsewhere. I don't want to.
Councillor Biggs is going to jump in.
I'm aware some of these things are very sensitive.
Biggs, property assets, economic growth. Just interested in perhaps the wider context of the potential expansion to 240. I don't know whether the demand is geographically local. Does that mean actually that's desirable because it means higher transport costs from bringing people from right over? You know, where does that fit? Perhaps the director really, I suppose, to answer that within the wider. Is that desirable? Are we rethinking that? Are we looking at that? Perhaps you're able to answer that.
Ideally, we want local children going to local schools, so we don't want children travelling for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours each day. Coombe House School has provided a really good education facility for lots of children who otherwise would have had to travel further, so further outside our borders, and would have cost the council lots more money per place. So Coombe House School has thus far achieved both of them objectives really, but in an ideal world, some children do travel quite far to Coombe House. So Coombe House fits in as one key part of our overall strategy in Dorset to provide the range of send places that we need for our children who have different needs in terms of they're presenting additional challenges and have different needs in terms of where they live in Dorset and how far it's reasonable for them to travel. And yes, the other point about the other financial point is that it does cost the council lots of money to transport children over long distances. So just repeat that we are in ongoing discussions about the best way to work with Dorset Centre of Excellence and how to best meet all the needs of our children in Dorset with our whole send sufficiency strategy. And geography is one key point.
So the locality of the children will be taken into account when we decide whether we do go to 220, 230, 240, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
it's not a given.
Total strategy.
Councillor Sampa, then go on.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chairman. And thanks for those explanations. Of course, Coombe House is a business, and it has and our first priority as councillors at Dorset Council are to Dorset children, but Coombe House also has young people who come from outside of Dorset, and that's part of their business plan as well. And as for phase 5 around residential accommodation with social care, is that around young people or is that with older people? That's not, I presume it's for younger people, which is also obviously, as we know, an enormous expense and cost to the council as well.
Yes, it's for children and young people.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I just come in on then the uptake from children or young people from outside of the county? We are restricted under what's called the TECL arrangements to no more than 19% take up from activities outside. So it's not that we can suddenly open the doors to everybody in the surrounding counties.
No, and one wouldn't want that at all. But obviously 19% of what you have now would be greater than 19%, or what you could have would be greater than the 19% you have now, which would obviously impact your income. But you know, I've made my point and I don't want to dwell on it. But I have a concern of delays to Coombe House because of this reprofiling.
I don't think that we intend any delays, that is the answer.
I wasn't suggesting you were.
And you know, off the top of my head, 38 kids with the 200 rolls is the limit for 19%. 19 times 38. There you go. I can do math still. Yeah, so they are restricted, and the chair got in before me to point that out. 80% is the threshold, isn't it? So, any other questions on item 8?
Exactly a question. At 2.3, the GCSEs in particular, I wanted to sort of probe that a bit more, sort of what subject areas, what kind of numbers. But you said you'll be bringing that to the next meeting. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say well done. It's been a really successful period. You've had a lot of external inspection activity, Ofsted, Wiltshire, Dorset Council, exams, come through that with flying colours. So really well done from a strengths-based model. The report says lots and lots of positive things, and there's a couple of areas for improvement. So I guess you'll be drafting, or you're already drafted, a action plan that you will accept.
The areas for improvement, I can assure you, are no surprise to us. There are areas we would have identified anyway.
Okay. In this case, thank you, and we'll close that agenda item. Noted. And next item is the urgent items. There aren't any, and exempt business. There isn't any. So that's the end of the meeting. Thank you for attending.
Can I have the live stream, please, Darren?